about a young cocktail waitress named Frida who meets Slater King, who is a tech billionaire, at his charity gala, and he invites her and her friend Jess to his private island with his friends, and they go, and it seems like everything's great, and then slowly things start to get stranger and stranger and more terrifying, and she needs to get out of there. I wanted to explore the themes of power, abuse of power, what's attractive about power, power dynamics. I also wanted to talk about and explore the absurdity of what society asks of women. You know, we're often asked, we're often expected to smile through our pain and our trauma, to pretend like we're okay when we're not, and to forget what's happened to us. I love my cast so much. I really still can't believe I got the actors that I got, and we all lived in Mexico at the location where we shot the film, so it was like this, you know, we were all living where we were working, and that could have gone horribly wrong, but we had so much fun. Everyone got along so well. It was like summer camp, and I really do believe that you see that kinship and that friendship and that fun on the screen when you see everybody together. As someone that loves cinema, I love going to the movies is my favorite activity, and so I definitely designed this film with that in mind. You know, from the visuals to the sound, but also just to the storytelling in itself. I've now just gotten to experience watching this movie with a room full of people, and it's so much more fun that way. You get to hear everybody gasp and laugh, and the tension, you can feel it in the room. It's an incredible communal experience, and I really hope people go to the theater to see it.
Watching Zoe go on like a full-on real journey of like what is it that she wants to make? What is it she wants to say? How does she want people to like experience these things that she wants people to understand and know? And yeah, I don't know. It was, for me, my first, I guess, reaction was just ambition, like, and I was like, anybody's taking this big of a swing, I want to be a part of it.
I remember reading it and being like, this is explosive. This is like, it feels like it could make an impact. And like the most exciting work to make is ones that like leave an imprint on people and really encourage conversation. That's like one of my big, like, I love when that happens. So yeah, it felt like that for me. I was like, this one, it's gonna make a difference.
I play Frida. And I just want a vacation.
She just wants a vacation. I play Slater King. And I have a private island. And yeah, there you go.
I think that's going to work.
I think that's going to work perfectly.
I remember when I read it, and like you know, you have everybody that you like kind of are picturing. And I think the first time I was like reading it, and now we're like going to cast, like I don't know, you read things in a different way than like obviously real life. And I remember just having these other ideas of who these people were. And then Zoe kind of was like, no, I don't want them to be lame people. I don't want them to suck. Like, I want them to actually be kind of awesome. And like, that's the reason why you go to the island in a way. And I was like, that's genius, because you're so used to when you read either a novel or a script or whatever, you put these like generic like stereotypes onto these people, because you know what their purpose is in like the story and who they are and what their device is. And I think I just was going at the lowest common denominator like version of them, and Zoe was like, no, I want to cast like all dope people that aren't these just like, you know, boring cliches. And like that was like kind of brilliant in my mind. So, yeah.
Cast, I think as well, like it was so important to bring together a group of people that were all about the work and like the joy of it and the joy of being together. And also that she brought together a bunch of people who were dope and like got along and loved art and music and dancing and partying and talking deep and like talking light and making jokes. And it just became like, when cut would happen, we would just continue, we'd be like mid-conversation, action, acting. cut, and then continue a conversation because there was so much to talk about.
And then she would have this accent when we yell cut, and then she would just be in like a perfect American accent, and we would all just be like, "And you're freaking me out, man! Like I feel like I'm not okay with this, like, because that's how good she is. She would just be like, she could be like ripping a joke over here, and like, and sounding like she does right now, and then action, and she's just like, tear, perfect tear, like down the cheek on cue.
I hadn't read anything like this before. That was sort of my initial thought. And everything about this movie sort of scared me and also challenged me, and it made me want to do it so much more. Yeah, and the fact that it was, you know, written by Zoe and it was going to be directed by Zoe, I was like, oh, this is going to be special, and I felt pretty safe.
I thought it was intimidating, and I liked intimidating, a little scary, because the subject matter is a lot to tackle, so I was like, okay, cool, I want to be scared, I want to feel something, so I was excited to do it.
Sarah is an ex-hot survivor babe, and she comes into the island. We're calling it an island,
Yeah,
right?
it's an
Yeah,
island.
it's an island. She comes into this island with like very specific wants and desires, and they're quite selfish. And as it sort of unravels everything that sort of happens, she sort of starts shifting her objectives through it.
I play Cody, who's Channing's personal chef, and Slater's personal chef, and best friend. So I just knew that I needed to have a rapport with him. So when I met him, I was really happy that he was a very chill, fun dude who takes his work very seriously but didn't take himself very seriously, and I'm the same way. So yeah, I just knew that I had to be his kind of right-hand man, and felt right, just felt natural, felt easy.
I think with Zoe, and I think she's sort of found this really cool place as a director. At least for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Zoe is a true actor's director, but also a very visual director, and I've never experienced those two sort of merging together. It's either you're a visual director and you kind of have to take a step back a little bit on performances, or it's so performative that, you know, that maybe the visual aesthetics sort of take a step back. I think Zoe is a beautiful combination of both. I think she's really smart and really empathetic when directing her actors. You know, she's an actress as well and knows and has been in our shoes, right? So I think she makes a really safe set and really comfortable set for us to explore and go to the places that we had to go to.
She is very thoughtful. She was very understanding of what it's like to be an actor and just communications, everything. And she was just really good at making you feel like you could ask questions. It was safe. She let you have ideas, and yet she was also very stern and knew what you wanted in a director. You want somebody that knows what they want, and often when somebody writes the script, like she did, they already know what they want, so there's no confusion, and she was very confident, and I was secure in that because you want that in a director. Smart and secure.
I think they're really gonna go through a lot of emotions when watching this movie, and what I really wish is for people to sit around and have a conversation about it. That's what I wish.
Yeah, most good art is that. Most good art, you go home talking about it, and years later, it still will bring up, like, I wonder what this meant, and this, and I feel like this movie is one of those movies.
My initial thoughts when I first read the script was, it's about time, you know? I feel like it's a story that resonates, but hasn't been told like this in, like, the package that's delivered. And I think a great film is, like Chan was saying earlier, like, entertaining, but getting a message across, but it's still fun. And this really does all those things.
Certainly unique, very different. I found it, when I read the script, to be exciting and unexpected. So there were so many twists and turns in it that I really enjoyed that. And it was Zoe, so I was thrilled to come on board.
So Jess plays Frida's best friend, roommate, and
You guys had some great
she's,
chemistry.
Yeah, we did, right?
You really, yeah, it's genuinely
We're a good
great.
vibe.
You seem,
They're
yeah.
gals you want to hang out
I
with.
love the invisible glass thing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so cute.
All really cute.
It's really special.
They're cater waiters. You know, she's like an actress, obviously in a bad relationship, toxic relationship she keeps going back to. You know, I think they're in awe by the fantasy of Slater King and the world that he represents, and they're excited to even get a glimpse into it, for better or for worse.
A little window into that
Little window.
side of
Yeah.
hoopla. Hoopla.
Speaking of hoopla,
Yeah.
Vic
And Vic
is Hoopla.
He's Mr. Hoopla. Yeah, that's who he is. Yeah, he's Slater's right-hand man in his own mind, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because I think
Whether he
Slater's
is or
kind
not.
of in charge of his own deal.
Yeah. What was the best part about making this film? Getting to meet this whole group, you know? Ensemble movies are kind of far and few between sometimes where you're really in these group mentalities and getting to shoot group scenes and party elements and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so being on location and all that, you know, they don't happen very often. So when they do and everyone is rad, it's like a real gift. And we had both those things.
It was a great group of people, wonderful ensemble, headed by Channing, and then Zoe just being the phenomenal leader that she is, just really brought together a great group. And we all wanted to deliver, I think, as much as we possibly could
Totally.
for her and give her everything that we give her our all for her.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people say they get anxious when they watch it.
They do. I got anxious when I watched it. I
Yeah.
mean, the first time I watched it,
Even
I was
when
like,
you know what's gonna happen.
"No,
Yeah.
God, get out of there!"
I
It's
know.
one of those types of things.
It's one of those. And then,
where
like,
you
also
yell.
you're like, yeah, get it.
Yes,
Like, yeah.
yes. There were moments where it's like, ooh, and the, you know,
Yeah.
the right person gets it, and those are that's what I go to the movies for.
Honestly.
and you want to be in a theater for
Yeah,
that.
Totally, because you experience
Because-
it with other people, the tension and
Yes,
stuff. Yeah.
yes. You're like hitting that person next to you, and you got to
Yeah.
be quiet, and yeah, you really got to pay attention. Those are fun. That's what we go to the movies for.
Totally.
Totally. Yeah.
The sound design, which sounds nerdy, in this movie is so on point that when you see it in a big theater,
Yep.
you really are, like, it's not like jump scares, but it creates this, like, quality of the film. It's actually part of the storytelling, I
It
think.
is. Some of
Yeah.
the sound cues are so good.
So good.
That music,
Yeah.
when it's the shots on Liz's face.
Yes.
And
the
she's-
same song, yeah. It's,
Oh, right?
gotta see it.
You gotta
to
see
know
it.
what we're talking
I
about.
know. Yeah, it's pretty cool.